You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up here on today's show, the latest NFL news and rumors. We're first going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Could he get cut on a certain date? Circle this on your calendar. Kareem Hunt trade. Is it going to happen? Odell Beckham Jr. to the Bills. Oh, man. And then at the very, very end, we got some trending NFL news that I believe every single person that follows the league needs to know. Let's first kick this thing off, though, with the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's a report out there that the 49ers are willing to keep Jimmy G until the roster cut-down day. Friendly reminder that the NFL teams go from 90 to 85, 85 to 80, and then on August 30th, final cut-down day where you go from 80 all the way down to 53 players. We knew that the 49ers plan when they were going forward. When you give up the amount of draft capital that they did to go get Trey Lance, that's the future, and that's okay. And nobody's really going to sit here and say that Garoppolo hasn't done a good job. 25-12 record over the past few seasons, 3 seasons. Got them to the Final Four last year, went to the Super Bowl in 2019. But Trey Lance is upside. Jimmy Garoppolo is safe haven. Now, this is what Ian Rappaport had to say on Garoppolo. From my understanding, the 49ers are willing to wait all the way to cut-down day. In fact, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for the 49ers to, let's say, move on from Jimmy Garoppolo now because what if another quarterback gets hurt? It sounds like they are going to hold on to him as long as possible just to see if any trade market develops before eventually and likely moving on from him. So essentially what I saw out of that is the 49ers are hoping for a major quarterback injury. Not that anybody likes to see a QB get injured, but you have to be able to face the fact of preseason, training camp, injuries are going to happen. And if there's an NFL team out there that believes, you know what, our win now window is right here. We need to take advantage of this. And if their quarterback goes down, there's a team. There's a contender. Because unfortunately, unless that happens, I don't see anybody making a deal for Garoppolo because you're going to have to take on $24.2 million. Good quarterback. That's a lot of money to ask for right now, considering the fact that the team that might need him the most is in their division, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. So predict it for me, y'all. Every single time you come across the Chat Sports Show, I want you to think that you and I, the team, we're all sitting down. If you're over 21, having a beer. If you're under 21, I don't know about y'all, man, but when I was growing up, my family reunions were packed with football discussion, packed with sports discussion. NBA, it did not matter. So if we ask you a question, I would really appreciate it if you let me know in the comments. So where's Jimmy Garoppolo going to play this upcoming season? Coming up next here on NFL Daily, will the Browns trade away Kareem Hunt? It's a good question. I don't have the answer for it. Well, I might have it. But first, if you haven't given us a follow yet on Rumble, please make sure you do so. Rumble.com/NFL Daily, or I'm going to do my best Vanna White impression. Get out your phone right now. Get out the camera. Just like you would scan it for a restaurant or a menu, I'm all about QR codes now. You scan that bad boy, it's going to take you right to Rumble. Give us a follow. Why? You can listen to NFL Daily like a podcast. If you're watching on YouTube and you minimize the screen, show stops. But if you're over on Rumble, not only is it ad-free, you can minimize the screen, put it in your pocket, and keep on listening to the show. Personally, I think that's pretty damn cool. Now let's talk about Browns running back Kareem Hunt. And there's a trade coming for him. Well, we already know that Hunt has requested a trade from Cleveland. The issue is this. Cleveland has declined his request. If a new team goes out, picks up the phone, says, hey, what about Kareem? Can we get him? I was told by our Browns coverage guy, Matthew Peterson, that Cleveland would look for probably about a 4th-round pick. Not only are you going to give up a 4th, you're going to have to owe him $6.25 million. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Kareem Hunt is a good back. I don't think people would dispute that. He won Rookie of the Year when he came out in 2017 out of Toledo. He had 272 carries, 1,327 yards, 8 touchdowns. Had some off-the-field issues, some domestic violence stuff, and now had a little bit of an injury-riddled season last year in Cleveland. But the one thing that Hunt can do that a lot of people are looking for in today's NFL is not only a back that can run between the tackles, not only a back that actually does a halfway decent job in pass protection situations, but also a back that can catch the football. And that's what Hunt brings to almost any single NFL team out there. Sure, coming off career lows and 22 catches, only 174 yards, no touchdowns. But if you are a team that wants to go maybe with either a running back by committee or thinks, you know what, our tight end situation isn't all that great. We need a safety blanket to just pick up some extra first downs. Hunt becomes an interesting person to think in mind. So anytime I see trade rumors, right, my mind instantly goes to, all right, who are some teams that could potentially make a deal for him? Because this season, this offseason, even though the Browns have declined the trade request, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, think about how many times this year alone this player's not going to get traded. Head coach says, no way we're going to trade that guy. You wake up the next morning and he's gone. So here to me are the top 5 teams most likely, not saying they're going to make the deal, most likely to trade for Kareem Hunt. It's the New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, New England Patriots. Maybe you totally disagree with me. Guess what? I'm okay with that. Why? I want to create discussions. I love talking about the NFL. I love talking about sports. Personally, I think it's really boring when people agree with me all the time. I would rather us argue. So here's your opportunity to argue with me in the comments. Where's Kareem Hunt going to play in 2022? Another free agent that always gets popped up around here is Odell Beckham Jr. because, make the argument, he's the top free agent out there right now. And could he potentially go to Buffalo? Von Miller is recruiting him. And if you remember, when Von Miller signed with the Los Angeles Rams, what happened? Von Miller went on his phone, started FaceTime with Odell Beckham Jr., was able to recruit him to go to L.A. Von Miller's doing the exact same thing here with Buffalo. So here's a picture of Von Miller's Instagram. As you can see, Odell Beckham Jr. pictured here in a Bills jersey, and it just says OBJ. You know, they're trying to run it back. They want to try to bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo. Von signed a 6-year, big-time deal with the Bills this offseason free agency. And then you look at the comments, okay? Look at some comments here. Von Miller, you know me, I'm lit. Buffalo, OBJ, you've been lit, Von Miller, but the locker room next to you look like, I mean, they're talking to each other. There is conversation here, and if you don't think that Miller right now is recruiting OBJ to Buffalo, imagine that offense. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, OBJ. Yikes. Good luck trying to cover that. So here's my question, y'all. Where's Odell Beckham Jr. going to play in 2022? Do you think he goes to Buffalo, joins forces with Von Miller, tries to win another Super Bowl? Do you think he goes back to Los Angeles? Or is there a dark horse team out there that could potentially land the top free agent still available? If you thought today's NFL News and Rumors show was done, not so fast, sweetheart. We are going to be breaking down some more NFL news and some more notes today that have been just circulating around the NFL. Essentially, this could be like your one-stop shop of, all right, Cliff Notes version of the most important things that happened today. The Las Vegas Raiders, there was a rumor over the weekend that because Josh Jacobs played so many reps in that Hall of Fame game that Las Vegas was going to potentially move on from him. Raiders' new head coach Josh McDaniels confirmed the Raiders are not going to trade Josh Jacobs. Another thing that ended up going down today, Justin Tucker, signed a 4-year, $24 million deal, $17 million guaranteed. Tom Downey was actually supposed to do this NFL Live, but saw this and just has yet to mentally recover. Tom's not a kicker person. That's okay. But that type of money for a kicker, I think it warrants this question here. Is Justin Tucker the greatest kicker ever? I'm talking all time. Is he the greatest kicker of all time? Why for yes and for no? And I could go a few different ways with this question. Is he the best kicker in the NFL right now? Yes. Yes, he is. In terms of all time, well, how about this? I don't know if I can give it to him yet, giggity, but I do think that this is trending in the right direction. And I could make the argument that he's the greatest kicker of all time. When you look at the numbers, and the numbers alone, right? Because when I think of a kicker, you got to be accurate, obviously, in field goals. You got to have a big leg, and I want somebody who's clutch. When I think of clutch, I think of a kicker in the postseason. Justin Tucker's got the highest field goal percentage ever. He's got a longest 66. It's the longest ever to win a game. And his postseason numbers are absolutely eye-popping. For all those reasons, yeah, I can make that argument. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here with some NFL news and notes. J.K. Dobbins, good news here for all you fantasy guys and Ravens fans, passed his physical. It was activated from the pup. he's going to have a chance to play week 1. Dobbins has kind of said that he believes that he's ready to go, that he was disputing a little bit with Ian Rappaport. The Ravens are going to have a run-first offense, and I know J.K. is going to be the RB1, but I could also make an argument that so is Lamar Jackson. More NFL news and notes here. Mycole Pruitt, he ended up signing with the Atlanta Falcons. I had him ranked as my 3rd, maybe 4th available tight end out there. So if you know some NFL teams that are looking for tight ends, Pruitt goes off the board. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Sounds like he has the inside track to start for the Panthers. That doesn't mean that he's playing well. It just means that he's the best guy there in Carolina. And Carolina is a primetime example of, if you got 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks, do you actually have any? But Baker's starting for Carolina, and their week 1 matchup up against Cleveland, get your popcorn ready. Ready, man, I can't wait for that one. Let's talk about Jameis. Famous Jameis last season. Unfortunately for him, got hurt. Tore the ACL. He had 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Saints were 5-2. Sounded like he rolled his ankle today. He is going to be undergoing some further evaluation, but after following some of the people that I do that cover the Saints, they don't seem too worried about it, but it is something to at least monitor. Another injury and another player that I've been monitoring very, very closely is Mekhi Becton. I love Becton when he came out of college. I thought this was going to be one of the better offensive tackle prospects in the league. The issue is he put on a little bit of bad weight, has struggled getting rid of some of that bad weight, and today, per Robert Saleh, Jets head coach, limped off the field. He did say that the knee is stable and okay, but when you see the amount of injuries that certain players get, it adds up, it adds up, it adds up, and I do want to keep tabs on Mekhi Becton. I don't know about y'all, I love trade rumors, and anytime I see trade rumors, I'm locked in. Well, there was a report that came out today that the Dolphins are looking to trade away not only Lynn Bowden Jr., who they once traded for, they also are looking to trade Preston Williams. So something to keep in mind from top to bottom. Lynn Bowden Jr., Preston Williams. The Dolphins are looking to move on from some of those guys.